Raise your hand if you work. Now raise your hand if you get paid to work. Now raise your hand if you would continue to work if you weren't getting paid. That is the life of a college athlete. As college students, many of us have backup plans in life. Per my research, according to the NCAA's article on probability of competing beyond high school, in the US, nearly 8 million students participate in high school athletics, yet only 495,000 of them will compete at NCAA schools. And of that group, only a fraction will realize their goal of becoming a professional or Olympic athlete. Playing sports is a hobby, but to be good, or even great for that matter, these college athletes endure more than sore muscles. My name is Breathin' Victor, and today I will be persuading you guys on why college student athletes should get paid for playing. So let's begin. Firstly, I would like to talk about the problem of why they don't get paid. And this entails the revenue aspect. College and universities, according to BusinessInsider.com, the NCAA makes $1 billion a year from college sports alone, which is a lot of money. Revenue generated from NCAA sports is concentrated among a small number of schools, just 65 schools out of 2,078. In the NCAA, less than 3% were responsible for $7.6 billion in revenue in 2018. That's more than half of all college sports revenue. Secondly, let's go towards the coaches' revenue. Coaches of high-achieving teams receive extravagant salaries. Some coaches receive millions of dollars a year. Thirdly, students' revenue. Student athletes receive nothing. Even if there's plenty of money to go around, they don't receive any of it. Money that would ordinarily go largely to players goes mainly to those who recruited them, aka their coaches. So the next problem is the risk factor. So one of the risk factors is physical risk factor, which is where student athletes are required to perform and risk their physical health at high levels while not being compensated to do so. Secondly, for the physical aspect, their injuries can be long-term or life-threatening, and they risk that while not having a backup plan because of how much they put into the sport to uphold their school status. The second risk they have is financial. In addition, students will feel less stressed about their financial situations so they can focus more on the games without money anxiety if they were to be compensated. Having some type of salary or payment for these athletes will allow them to have insurance or savings so that the risk of anything happening during the course of a season, they will be more prepared for setbacks instead of having nothing to fall back on. And if they don't have time, a part-time job, or parents who can actually help them in those situations of setbacks. Thirdly, I think one of the most important risks, aside from physical, is the educational aspect. According to the Me Country website, on average, college athletes spend 28 hours per week, with many reporting much higher on athletics per week, which does not leave much room for academics to the high demands of these powerhouse colleges. So these athletes do not have a fair share building a secondary career path because of the lack of time they participate during their athletics, as compared to someone who is a non-athlete and they have more time to actually put towards their careers of, doctorates, lawyers, all the things that people want to do. College athletes don't really have that secondary opportunity to do so because they're spending so much of their time on pure athletics and they're not being compensated. So thirdly, I would like to move to the exploit aspect, where colleges and universities exploit the student athletes. According to collegesportsmadness.com, sports teams increase the status of their colleges. College gets the chance to attract more academic and sport talent and to increase its tuition fees according to its popularity, which the students give them because of their high demand of the sport that they're playing and how much revenue they actually bring towards the school, and they bring the status up. Also, college is a highly profitable industry, which means college athletes bring in so much, like I was saying before, but they see none of it. So these universities are bringing in all of this money, as you've seen the numbers, as I told you about the numbers before, and they're seeing not one dime. So it just goes to show you how much these students are putting in and how much they're actually getting out of it and the risk that they run. So thus far, I've covered what life is like being a college athlete and all the negatives that come with it and all the things that they do not receive and that they should receive for all the things that they're putting into that sport or their sports or the colleges alone. But I would like to leave you guys with this. Know your worth. Know the difference between what you're getting and what you deserve. Thank you guys so much for listening.